One thing I would like to ask here, Kalyani, I don't know how the audience would react to it, but I'm just putting my thought out. See, I see a lot of freedom in your thoughts, a lot of, I can say that a lot of carefree kind of approach towards life, that you're not hampered by things happening to you in life. So, do you feel if you have a fallback cushion, what I mean by fallback cushion is, let's say, if you don't have anybody to answer, if you own everything which you do, like for example, you are not going home every now and then, your parents are independently living their lives, there can be a lot of people who are not in that luxurious state, right? So do you think when you don't have uh, absolute freedom, at that time you might not be able to think this freely the way you are thinking? What do you think about this, or am I wrong somewhere?
No, no, no. So definitely it depends on case by case basis. I cannot vouch for anybody else, but I feel that you know, it my thoughts could be like seemingly be carefree or without any worry and everything, but the core is kindness. The core is compassion, right? The core is empathy. And the goals or the kind of, output that you would have out of, subject wise lives, like different lives can be different. But what we can take away from anyone's life or anyone's experiences is um, the basic things, right? How to understand the other person also. So, for example, I have like lived in like I know for a fact that I have taken care of the house, like literally, wo jo grahini wali. Oh my God! So my school days, people used to call me Dadi Amma. My best friend used to call me क्या तू गृहिणी है पूरी like you're in training गृहिणी. So because I was taking care of a lot of things, I was taking care of the household chores, food, quite some things there. But I could understand that the things that I need to, even like the first thing that I went to Delhi, right? I spoke about this, I think. And then I had to come back. So in Delhi, I was trying to prepare for civil services. And through that, it was like I was in the zone. I was on like point to point everything. I was, the feeling that you get when you're actually closer to your goalpost, and you're like, okay, if I stay the course, if I just stay the course. And suddenly, what happened was like, mom called and she said that, and she was crying, and I was like, Doctor Saab, kya hua? Batao, shaant batao, and tell me. So she called me and she's like, "क्या अच्छा हमने कहा डॉक्टर साहब बताओ क्या हुआ?" And she was like bawling. She was like, मुझे पता नहीं है, but I feel you should come home. And I said I dropped everything. I was like, okay, I'll come home. It's fine. Whatever the reasons were, it's okay. It's fine. But I knew that. So again, the basic thing or the bottom line of it would be empathy. Coming back to where I can understand where she's coming from. Maybe something is terribly like terrible that is happening there. Maybe I cannot. Maybe I can help. So being that is something that is very core to me, not the freedom part. The freedom part came later, where I had gone through trauma, and then after that, I understood that I need to take care of myself to take care of others. That's when that happened. But before that, it was just empathy and how to take care of everyone, how to take care of my brother, my mother, my father, Nani, Nanaji, everyone, whoever is in the closest proximity that I can take. So yeah,
That's
that
wonderful. So yeah, Kalyani. So that's wonderful. I mean, you mentioned a very important aspect, that is empathy, and earlier you mentioned that it is very important to take care of yourself. In fact, I
mm,
realized it very late, but thankfully
yeah,
I did. Right. And the empathy part, even I would say, thank you. Even the empathy part, I would say, earlier I used to feel that, hey, मुझे तो ये चीज़ आती है, उसे भी आती ही होगी, मतलब उसे क्यों नहीं आती है ये चीज़? Like, ये चीज़ तो सभी को आती है. Like any person, if I imagine in my head, I started imagining that person. I used to imagine that person at my level. Then I
yeah,
understood
yeah,
that
yeah,
I should have some compassion and empathy and all that.
yeah.
I should understand that maybe the person is coming from a different background altogether. So that's a great learning, actually. Yeah. It is a wonderful conversation so far, and audience would agree with that, right? We are talking about a lot of different things. We are talking about different tangents, different line of thoughts, and the depth which she has about every topic almost is unparalleled. And in fact, I'm learning quite a lot from that. You don't need to do that. I mean, yeah, I know. You would become humble again and would say, I don't know anything.
I didn't
It's
say
just,
anything.
yeah, it's just coming to me from universe, right? Okay. All right. So now again, I would strike a controversial chord here. I don't know how people would react to it. So, see, you being a female might have seen that these days a lot of awareness campaigns are going on, right, for rights of females. And I completely understand and agree that there has been a long drawn history of atrocities against females, and this was the need of the hour. But also, somewhere I feel down the lane that it is getting more and more towards the revenge side of things, and a lot of it in fact is coming out of the fact that, hey, now we are ready to take revenge on men, and we should demolish all men and all that, and it's taking an ugly shape, which I see around me. Not every time, but almost most of the time. So do you? Yeah. So do you think innocent men is they are suffering because of this, or they are being seen in a bad light these days because of overhyped feminism?
There are two things that are coming to my mind. I'll start with the entertainment bit. Have you seen Athras? It was an old movie, I think, in some back in 2000s or
I
something.
remember the cast, but I haven't seen the movie. Akshay
Priyanka
Kumar and
Chopra,
Priyanka
Akshay
Chopra, right? Yeah,
Kumar,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Kareena
haven't
Kapoor.
watched the movie. Yeah.
Oh, it was fabulous. Not maybe in their I'm sorry guys, but did great work, but not acting wise, it was not the finest hour maybe. But oh my god, the characters, the roles, the story, the script, it was beautiful. And there was this one dialogue that was there that the women are basically like the idea was कि ऐसा होता है कि अगर कोई औरत मर्द को थप्पड़ मारती है तो कि कुछ गलत something would have been done by the male counterpart. And if the male hurts the woman, it's always like, always, we can see it as a tangent as well. That, oh, how Zalim is the man that he's hitting that poor, Abla woman. And all. It's not always the woman is right or the man is wrong, or the man is right and the woman is wrong.
Again, I
Not
would like to
always.
say Sandeep Reddy Wanga sir would love you for this. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why are you guys pitching me to the controversy so bad in part of this? I thought we were friends.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
I
Go
feel,
ahead.
and there's this term in why I am saying this is because there's this term in political science as well, uh, called radical feminism, and it's a like very old discussion that it was not a new discussion that we see right now. Like, as I said, that any kind of people you would find in any place, okay, that you visit. I also believe all thought processes prevailed in all times. Like ऐसा नहीं है कि सतयुग में सब अच्छा हो रहा था एंड अचानक से कलयुग में सब बुरा हो रहा है. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. सतयुग में भी बहुत सारी चीजें थी. इन रामायण, like the scripture that you see, right? There is Ram, so there is other Ravan as well, right? How did that character came into being if this is the alien idea that nothing can be wrong, right? So I think every time, and that's where this thought process of radical feminism. So feminism, when came, it came in bits and pieces. So the first wave was like, okay, we need some rights, we need some, equality. Yeah, kuch to de do, yaar, thoda to de do. And then it came to, okay, now we want better standards. Then now that everything, like, and then it came ki, nahi, women are way better than men. So I and I don't agree with it. And here I think maybe it will be controversial, definitely. I don't feel that any gender is special or any gender is better than any other gender. I feel at this age or at this era, where we don't have to, there was um, the physiology part of it. I cannot counter that because it's scientifically proven that it is different. Definitely men and women will be different, but I am not sure that, you know, I don't know if that can be an equality ka thing, because, or that can be like a betterment or superiority ka thing rather, like not equality. Equality is definitely there, should be there actually, not there, but should be. But it is not a question of who's better and who wins the race, sort of like that, right?
Exactly my point, right? I mean, that's what I see these days happening. Yeah.
So there's this concept in Hindu scriptures, right? The Ardhnarishwar.
Yeah,
So,
very well put out. Yes,
right,
exactly.
Shiv is not complete without Shakti, and Shakti is not complete without Shiv. So you have to, and anywhere that you see, you have to work in cooperation, and you have to collaborate with each other. You cannot live in isolation anywhere. So it's better to understand that than fight. So it always should be us against the world rather than we against each other. We should not be pitching against each other because we have to work together. So I don't understand this concept of, for example, I'll tell you this one bit, and I get very enraged with this. So, for example, in a bus or a train or a compartment or whatever, okay, in a public vehicle, and everyone is, it's a rushed day, and a lot of people are there. And there's a man standing, and there's a woman. There's a woman standing and a man sitting in a chair, right? And he has a seat. He came before or whatever it is. Now, why is it expected that the man should get up and offer the seat to the woman? Why? Ajadi, man liya. So if I say that the woman is pregnant or the woman is handicapped or the woman has some or the other issue, the woman is not feeling well. Fine. In that case, even the man should take it. Even if a woman is sitting and a man is feeling unwell and a man is handicapped and he is not, in his prime, then he should be offered the seat. No, why should we the man just, please, hyena. Why is this
Yeah, exactly.
a point? I would personally hate it. I would be like, no, no, please sit. Or maybe if a person is standing there, I can offer my seat. Ki, हाँ, आप बैठ सकते if I am feeling up to the job. ठीक है. Why should it be like, oh, chivalry is dead? It's just you're equally capable of standing and traveling to that B place, right? From A to B if you're traveling. You're capable enough to stand and drop at B. Why you have to take that seat for 15, 20, 30 minutes or whatever it is? I don't understand
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. And in fact, you mentioned about chivalry, right? So these days on social media, this is a very favorite tagline of creators. Chivalry is a trait which is ever charming. Chivalry is not dead, and things like that. Which is, I believe these days the opinions of people are being shaped by a lot of social media crap, which we should realize, right? Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
fuel the controversy fire even more. Who should pay the bills when you go out on dates?
Yeah,
Should be a country, no? Both of you came to meet, both of you agreed to meet, both of you
exactly.
are having food.
Yeah.
Contribute.
Absolutely. And out of love, if you are doing, let's say, I mean, out of generosity, that, okay, this time I'll play, that is a different thing, right?
Yeah.
But,
On the
I
first
mean,
date, if
yeah,
I mean, if it is a first date, right, and you've met for the first time, and you both like are, and you both agreed to meet, right? If it is a treat, like okay, it's on me, it's my treat, it is an occasion or something, then it's fine. Chalo, theek hai. Next time I will give a party. But at least, and I feel that that is very important to be very, conscious of your finances as well, and it helps when छोटा the bits and pieces you make sure that you're very conscious on making those decisions. For example, if I am going out, right, and I see the bill, I know exactly like, okay, this is my contribution as well. I should. That's where, you know, again, joining the dots, I'm sorry how to do. That's where the concept of earning your own bread comes in. Because you have to spend, you have to think about, अरे यार इससे पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे? I cannot rely on कि हाँ, a man, my knight in shining armor will, pay all the bills and do all that. I have to pay my own bills. I have to earn. And then that's where hard work comes in. It's all related.
yeah, amazing correlation. Yes, of course. And I mean, I am happy about the fact that there are females around us who are like you, who are understanding the depth and intensity of this problem, which is being subtly pushed into our lives. I see you talked about bill payments and all, right? So I saw an Instagram reel where there was a foreign lady who was saying that if your partner does not pay your bills, he is a red flag. So, I mean, this kind of notion which is happening, it's very sad and bad as
Yeah.
well, right?
It's a,
Yeah,
I would add a layer to it. So if a partner is disagrees to support you in your financial struggles, that is a red flag. Because support is necessary. But undue advantage if you want to take ki, Ari, I'll just spend and I will not do anything and you are there, no, you will take care of me. Imagine the burden, and this is something that I've talked to my father about. Hey, and this one day we were just shopping, and Pitaji was like, "There's some conversation," and that was like one of the few moments that I could see that yeah, Pitaji is also going through things. He said that yeah, people don't have to think about it. Women, in my age or in a certain age, they didn't have to think about it. Men have to think about कि कैसे पैसे आएगा, कहाँ जाएगा, किस तरीके से मुझे manage करना है, and how to put the food on the plate of everyone in the family. And it becomes very traumatic for the male person. And he said it that if it becomes very kind of burdening to have so much to do and so much to take care of without any help. So again, coming back to if there's a superhero and he's taking care of everyone, who's taking care of the superhero when he's down, right?
absolutely,
Everyone have
absolutely.
to work together.
Yeah, yeah. And if we all have this kind of notion in our head, if we all have this kind of understanding towards each other, that would really be great. And right, I'm lucky enough not to have a person like that who believes in red flags and green flags, the way social media is portraying. But I also see a lot of people around us who are not that lucky. Coming to the social media tangent, Kalyani, I can see that you have very different take and very refined thoughts in every kind of topic, and you are very comfortable talking about them upfront, right? You don't have that hesitation that, oh no, no, I'm coming on camera, I won't talk about this. So, yeah. So,
Who am I? I'm not a celebrity that I have to take care of things. It's
yeah.
fine.
The even common people, I have seen them. They have 10 followers and they post a reel and they put a filter that new reel. So if you tap on that, then only you will see their reels, as if they are so huge celebrity and all kind of.
Arya, today itself, I talked to my best friend. I was like, I was telling her all the plight of my life and everything, what little I have. So, and she was like, yeah, this is so funny. Yeah, you talk about your trauma as if it was some comedy script that you're telling me. That's how you have to take it. Otherwise, who would do all the Rona Dhona and everything? Like Rudaliyo ki tarah, who would like do that? I can't. I don't have the time to or the luxury to. I have to keep moving forward, and everyone has to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can take your trauma and bad times on a lighter note, I see people getting offended very easily these days. I mean, and on internet it is very easy, right? You are sitting behind the screen, you type something, and the person's mental peace is. So that kind of right, yeah. I mean that kind of thing is very very important to understand that we need to have a thick skin and we need to not get affected by a lot of things going around. So moving on the social media tangent, Kalyani. So see, these days the algorithms and the feed which we have on our social media, unless we rectify it ourselves, unless we have some grip and control, we see that hypersexuality and nudity being thrown at our face so bluntly, right? So-called influencers, they start abusing on screen, they threaten each other, they threaten families, they even give very nasty threats to people, right? So all that trash goes on, all that trash is taking away our attention span, to be precise. And these days I see very less people talking about books, talking about poetry, talking about maybe some written article. Yeah, it's very sad. Nobody talks about these things. And also people have also started thinking that in the age of AI, there is no meaning of creative work. We can just give a prompt and the AI software or website can throw things at us. But we know that it is not true, right? So do you think we as a nation, uh, we are about to pay a huge price for that? Because we are one of the youngest populations across the world, right? And if we do not reap the dividends properly, then we are actually going towards a different direction which will shatter all of us. That's what I feel. What do you think about it?
That's okay. A lot of points that I could see in that statement. One was, um, in the starting we talked about a lot of content wise, inclinations that we can see towards what a certain kind of content being created and being watched. Then its effect and impact, and then the bit of sort of like creativity going to decay because of that. I think the first part I would like to address, which is the content part, and the visibility of it. Honestly, Partho, I feel um, content is directly proportionate to the kind of views it gets. So, for example, if okay, जब रेड्डी साहब का इतने बार नाम आ ही चुका है, तो why not one more time? So, if रेड्डी साहब की कोई movie launch होती है, right, and it has certain kind of elements that is kind of glorifying a certain aspect. Okay, people are going to watch it, right? People are paying it. It is earning that box office, right? So, if a certain kind of person does not like it, don't watch it. Don't. give it the space and give it the opportunity to become a mainstream, right? Then again, if coming back to it's a big, big screen, छोटी screen पे आते हैं. When you see TikTok reels or Instagram reels or YouTube shorts or anything, and it's specifically like these are becoming shorter. Content is becoming shorter and shorter and shorter day by day. Someday, just like cricket match, वो T20 हो गया है. अब वो 20 seconds की reels आया करेगी shorts में कि 10 seconds में जो देखना देख लो.
Exactly, and in fact, the hilarious part about is in a reel or short of 15 seconds, you have to write wait
Yeah.
for it. So that itself means that how short our attention is, right?
Definitely. But here is like for the content part or what we are seeing, I feel again it is I am a huge I think I will have some red flags around when I say this, but I have to because this is like again, this is my personal choice and personal opinion and everything I have talked about and I have had conversations about. If it was not personal, then I made sure that that okay, I cannot maybe comment on that. This is my personal opinion, right? Again, this becomes my personal opinion that if you don't like your profile, so for example, my feed, the feed that you will see in my Instagram or YouTube, it is all comedy. It is all senseless things. It will depend completely on whether I want to watch it or not. If I want to watch some comedy, for example, Abhishek Upmanyu or Zakir Khan, that will come to my feed. My feed, if I even show it to you right now, it will just be completely filled with dance videos. And that's it. My point being, coming back to the thing, if you don't like it, do not watch it and the content will go away.
No,
Promote the content
yeah.
that you want in to see more. And I agree that the negative aspects or negative things are more attractive and they take more span. But I also feel again this becomes like a personal exercise.
But also, Kalyani, that was the question, right? Sorry to interrupt you there. What I asked was that unless you regulate it, you are fed with that kind of content automatically by algorithms. So basically, let's say you make one new Instagram ID, and the moment you go to the reel section, you would see that kind of content only. At that time, Instagram does not have the data about you, but by default, to grab eyeballs. If you are a male, you will be shown reels of females. Yeah, exactly. Right. So unless you regulate it, and regulating it gets difficult, right? Means, I mean, if you are not having a great level of self discipline and self control, it gets difficult to regulate that thing, what you said. Unless we regulate it, we are fed with that kind of content, right? So you're absolutely correct. If we don't want, do not watch it, and your feed will be clean. So same goes with me, right? So if I show you my YouTube feed, it will always be filled with interviews of entrepreneurs and mathematicians, scientists, and all that. So yeah, yeah. Please build on that thought.
I
Yeah.
should not show you my feed because it is all like some interviews of film stars, maybe there's Variety का एक interview scene आते हैं जिसमें actors are talking to them like each other. Yeah, so basically all bullcrap thing, all the entertainment things. That is what I feel. You are right, actually, where you say that, there has to be some kind of deviation from the automatic algorithm, that default algorithm that runs. But my point is that the deviation does not happen I am not like controlling myself in my YouTube selection, feed selection, or Instagram feed selection. I am going through, if I see a aesthetically pleasing male posing, I would go and watch it. That maybe I will hit a like button or what. But that's it. But that would be an outlier, right? Because my main, if I want to be entertained, because I am going through, like, I am working 10 hours shift and I want to be entertained. What we can take away from that, or maybe dust off the dhool from the goal, is the confidence that these guys have.
Yeah, definitely. In
Let's be
fact, yes.
honest,
Yeah,
they know the content is shitty. They know.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I
They
agree.
still put it out like, देखो.
Exactly. Kapil Sharma level of confidence they have. Yes.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, अपन करेगा जो करना है. That confident I want to have, confidence I want to have in my life. But yeah, maybe a little more like I would love, uh, poetry or dance or, kind of like a nice artful thing. But
Yeah.
again, I think a balance should be strictly struck in that. Like, हाँ थोड़ा entertainment चल जाएगा, थोड़ा education चल जाए, थोड़ा बहुत like art वर्ट, थोड़ा deep चले जाए, spirituality आ जाए, everything. And if we control content like the censorship does, I think too much censorship should also not be there. We should be like giving free space for people to just do whatever they want. Also, try to, for us, people like us to have that confidence and like posting things like you are doing. And you're such a great job that you're doing this. Kudos to you, dude. Like
Thanks a
having
lot. Thanks
that,
a lot.
you know, that will, that vigor to like, okay, I will just go on and do a podcast the way I want to do it. Not on the mainstream thing, but the vision that I have, right? That is something that we can content. We have to make more content as content creators or maybe or an artist. The kind of content we want, maybe at a point we can create it and we can post it out for people. Maybe that could balance things out. But right now, I might not have a concrete answer to that question.
Yeah, very well said again. I mean, you said that balance is the key again. What I can figure out that we should strike a balance. So far, this has been really wonderful having a conversation with Miss Kalyani God, right? And all of you are enjoying this, I believe. So, on a different line of thought, Kalyani, you are a millennial, right? And what, according to you, is the idea of love and relationships? So these days we see a lot of hookup culture and situationships and
Interesting topics.
yeah, new terminologies being invented and being arrived at, right? So by Gen Zs, and in fact, the tenure of a relationship has become short, right? It has in fact become so short that sometimes it makes me get into a zone of shock, and at times I have also gone through therapy. Just kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's not even seasons anymore, dude. I mean, like, come
Exactly,
on.
exactly. So, what can we talk about the pros and cons of this? How do you see this
Okay.
whole situation? I mean, I'm not
First
saying
level.
they are correct or we are correct, or
Yeah.
let's say our generation before us were
Yeah.
correct. Nothing like that. How do you
Yeah.
visualize this situation? Yeah.
I think so. First level, though, I don't know if I am a millennial or not, honestly, because I've been told that I might be a Gen Z, which I'm very like. I'm kind of frightened about this concept because I have seen my like Gen Z brother or people around me, and I don't want to be associated. This is not my vibe. Basically, that's what I want to say. They're great, and I think the clarity that they have, the Gen Z have, is so much more than we had, and I also feel bad on that terms. Where they're like, I mean, I feel like, where is your childhood gone? Why are you not living your childhood? That is something that I feel very, very sad about. But if if we talk about Gen Z specifically and relationships of Gen Z, said Gen Z, I think as a millennial also I was an old school. I was ऐसे ही नहीं बुलाते थे दादी अम्मा और better yet ऐसे ही बाल सफेद नहीं हो गए हैं हमारे.
That sounds better. Yeah.
you know but yeah, I always had that bit of I'm a big romantic, so uh the kind of, and this is like, I don't know how my parents would I think my parents have seen this in me, honestly. By now my mother so definitely has. She has seen me bowling for a person and saying that I just want to see him happy and everything. That romantic, the true romantic that you have in you. Uh, but I think the stimulus also has changed, yeah, Partho. Where in our day and age, things were slow and even slower in our parents' ages, right? Generation. Here, as you see, social media in itself has evolved. Attention span is like that, right? It's so much stimuli is there out there. And it's just either my way or highway. Basically, there's no, conversation. There's no, in, for example, I wrote emails and got emails back after weeks. Okay. So I had to wait. There was like a waiting period involved. And we had to simmer down our, emotions and everything, think about things, everything. I feel that becomes missing when it is just like that and it's done. And and also I think Gen Z has not come to a place or come to an age where that thought of romance and love would get into, that your skin, under
Yeah.
your
So
skin.
basically, background में violins अभी नहीं बजे हैं. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Okay.
so Gen Z कितने होंगे अभी अभी 20s में आए होंगे, right? Gen Zs.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the age. Basically,
Not
they're
even
starting
20s.
their college now.
Before that, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. So right now, what do you call it? Uh, the first generation of the Gen Z will be somewhere in their like first year of college right now, right? उसमें क्या हो जाएगा यार, अभी इतना प्यार नहीं हो, इट्स फाइन, इट्स ओके, दे विल देन नाउ इन कॉलेज दे विल एक्सपीरियंस. आई थिंक वी शुड आल्सो अंडरस्टैंड दैट वी आर too soon to judge them as, like, at least in relationship aspect, right? Now they will end up, exploring more. They'll go out of the family wala zone, and then they'll meet new people. They'll understand. They'll maybe live together. That will happen now for them. Before that, it was as we had seen in our school days, no crushes and all. And it's fine. It's okay. They are young. They are, oh my God, I feel old having this conversation. Why are we having this conversation?
No, no,
It's
don't
a
be in
massive
that.
thing of
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
be in that zone that you are old or something. But I hear you. I get that point, and it's a fantastic point to make that they haven't gone through that phase yet. So it
yeah,
is too sooner to judge. But
yeah. But
also, I
I
was,
get
yeah.
your point of, terminologies like situationships and, these kind of things. It's just, again, that stimulus has, maybe blame, or fortunately, unfortunately, that's what the world they live in is like. They have seen girlfriends and boyfriends in a very young age, right? So they will need some kind of terminology to address that. And because they're young, because they are fluctuating emotions, they just went through their teenage, they don't hold on to teenagers. As teenagers, how did we hold on to our emotions? Did we hold on to our crushes for a very long time? ठीक है, you and I might be some other planets, other universes, being that came on this earth. I know you hold on crushes very, very long. I know that you're a true romantic. We share that in common. But in our age as well, we have seen that school crushes would come and go, right? And that's what is happening with them. They just came with a better terminology, like a situationship, like a relationship, like some ship, like friend zones. I think
Yeah,
friend
yeah,
zone to
exactly.
pehle tha, right? I don't even know the terminology. Like I'm beyond situationship. Shit, I'm becoming old. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but I
these
still
words,
feel
right?
right that if you write a one page poetry for somebody versus, let's say, if you write a line that I like
Hmm.
you, that creates a
Yeah.
different impact altogether. And these
Um,
days, too, people
but
do not even write poetry themselves. They just ask to chat GPT and say, write a poem for my sweetheart and
Ari,
all.
come on, yeah. In our age also, like poets are a different breed of altogether. So see, not everyone can be a poet, right? Not everyone can be a
True,
story
true.
writer,
Yes,
right?
yes, that is true.
So if imagine if our age introverts have to say that baby I love you, how they will say it? Maybe I like you. Maybe I am falling in love with you. That's it. That's the
Yeah,
definition. Beyond
true.
they will be odd, right?
Yeah.
Extroverts and that to poets. That is a different breed. They will express भाई साहब जब आप आती हैं तो क्या बहारें छा जाती हैं और क्या फूल
Oh,
खिल जाते हैं, right? That will be different like emotion. But because a poet can use words like that, maybe someone else cannot. So I think it's okay. In their day
yeah,
and
yeah.
age, it's fine.
That's really commendable. The way you are trying to see positivity in every kind of situation and every kind of things which we are discussing. That's really amazing, and
Is
that is
it
exactly
spreading?
why
Is it is
I.
it infecting you as well?
Yeah, I do see positivity around, but at times I fail to see. But yeah, that is exactly why I wanted to have this conversation for a larger chunk of people to see the positive aspect or the side of things. Because I see so much negativity around, people getting angry on trivial issues, and they are ready to kill each other. They are showing guns on screen and all. So that really saddens me up. All right, amazing, Kalyani. We had such deep conversations on different topics. We had different point of views and very unique uh, line of thoughts, I would say, from your side. Now, let's come to a lighter note and the more creative side of your personality. Because I know that you love writing, you write different kind of things, and poetry is one of them, right? So, yeah, you are a multifaceted person. So, yes, please, the stage is yours.
So I think I'll start with dance. So basically, I started Kathak from my mom wanted that, and I think she also loved dancing somewhere in the bottom of her. And she would guide me कि अच्छा ये gestures ऐसे जाने चाहिए, थोड़े expressions कम करो. Whenever I used to dance, and then I had to leave that because Pitaji was had to travel from one place to another. So Dr. Saab and I just tagged along. Now finally I am in an independent space. So I decided, and I went through like panic attacks and went through my troubles and all. Uh, I think it's very important to understand that these psychological issues are very, very deep, and you have to make your own effort. Consult a doctor, consult a psychologist, consult a psychiatrist, and then take steps. Ultimately, it will be your steps that will be important. And one of my steps was to ground myself to something. And one thing that gives me utter joy, and this is something that someone, so my one of my friends, he said that I'm like a dance handicap, like teach me something, no? And he used to always say that. To that, I always had the answer of how do you teach someone how to breathe? Like, how do you do that? And that's what dance is to me.
That's poetic, filmy, as well as deep,
I
I
know,
would say.
right?
Yeah,
Melodrama is too deep inside.
we all can sense that.
So,
Yes, Karan Johar might be
yeah.
looking for you. Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think so. Not in this lifetime. But yeah, so this I understood that I have to go back to dance. I have to vent out. I have to like uncover or like peel that part of the onion that is me. So yeah, that's how I started this journey, and definitely with my gurus.
To
Uh,
come out of the negative side of things and to realize my own self, again, I came back to dance. So we all know that any kind of creative pursuit can help us blossom once again in our life, right? I am thinking if you can share one of your poems with the audience and, of course, with me as well, because I know that you write a lot. I know that you write so deep. So, yeah, if you're comfortable sharing it with us, that would be great.
yeah, sure. So one context of the writing bit, it actually started as just a test whether I can do it or not, because one of my friends whom I looked up to wrote, and she wrote so beautifully. And it was in school. So I was like, I also want to try. I wrote something and it was so, like, it was so dark that my English teacher whom I showed the thing, looking at both the poems, he was like, what trauma are you girls going through? What is happening in your life? So, but yeah, anyway, that's how the whole thing started, and then it just became a part of how I vented. And so, one of this thing is I call it Musafir, if I may. So, yeah,
Yeah,
should I start?
we all have to say Irshad, Irshad. Okay, okay, sorry. Yeah, Irshad, Irshad. Yeah.
Shukriya, shukriya. So here goes. हर रोज यूं तेरी याद मेरी बहन कुछ इस तरह घर कर जाती कि सब कुछ होते हुए भी तू मुझे कुछ बेजार सताती है। हर जर्रा मेरा तेरे दीदार को तरसता है कि हर लफ्ज मेरा तेरी दास्तां बयां कर जाता है। कुछ अपनी सी लगने लगी है ये जफा भी है। तुझसे रिश्ता अब जो रहा ना वफा का है। तेरा तेरे बाद ना कोई देखा है ना तेरे बाद कोई किसी को देखना है मुझे। इन नजरों को पता नहीं शायद तेरा नशा सा है। आते तो हैं यूं तो हजारों परवाने यहाँ भी सनम। अ, पर इस शम्मा में जलकर रात हम ही तो हैं। 100 जख्म मंजूर हैं इस आखिर दिल को। तेरे रुख पे जो ये सजी मुस्कुराहट की मदहोशी सी ऐसी छाई है कि इसे दर्द भी लगता सरखुशी है। सरखुशी है इश्क है कि मदहोशी ऐसी छाई है कि इसे दर्द भी लगता सरखुशी है। सरखुशी है इश्क है। यूं तो न राधा है ना हीर है न लैला है। बस मोहब्बत के कारवां के एक मुसाफिर हैं हम। अब ये ना पूछना कि मंजिल कहाँ है कि इस सफर शौक के दीवाने हैं। That's it.
Oh,
Thank
wow,
you.
wow. Amazing, amazing. Wonderful. No, it was seriously
Thank
good.
you.
एंड
Thank you.
उर्दू अल्फाजों का जो आपने बखूबी इस्तेमाल किया है मोहतरमा,
I
उसने
tried.
चार चांद लगा दिया हमारे इस नाचीज स्क्रीन पर।
Oh my
for the lack
God.
of better word, right? Yeah.
I know. I want a million. Please, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. But really, the kind of word flow which you have used, since I write poetry, so I can say it with authority. The kind of selection of words and the kind of flow it has, it was having that touch of Bollywoodish songwriting, I would say. But
I
also, yeah.
wanted to actually, get into
Ah, okay,
that
okay,
and
okay, okay.
songwriting, not with this, but
Hmm.
I want to learn how to because वो rhythm आ जाता है problem में, and I
Yes.
can't get that right. But yeah, thank you so much.
No, that's great. I mean, I really appreciate that. Wonderful, wonderfully narrated as well, with proper expressions and all. I can remember my nursery teacher teaching me, "Machli jal ki rani hai, जीवन
This
उसका पानी
again, my
है."
nursery teacher is something that you cannot leave behind. Wow,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
your love with your nursery teacher, by the way?
Not at all, not at all, not at all. She was a 65-year-old lady, so no chance. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Love cannot see
I
numbers.
agree, I agree,
Done.
I agree. But again, yeah.
Hey, so many times this nursery teacher comment has come in like I'm like, huh, okay. Is it a compliment? Is it like what
Yeah,
is
it is. It is
it?
obviously a compliment. She was very expressive. Whenever she used to say,
Ah,
even for example, let's say, "May I drink water?" "Yes, you may. Why not?" So that's how she used to speak, and she was very expressive. No, no, what I mean was that you were very expressive. In Bangla, there is a terminology called abriti. So when we speak
okay.
abriti, we speak with a lot of expression. We speak with a lot of
It's a
intonation and voice
theatrical,
modulation. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I got
So
it.
that's the,
Theatrical word. Yeah.
yeah, that's the way you narrate it. So on that line of thought, Choco Chips Radio podcast has always been about celebrating failures and wearing failures as a badge of honor, rather than a guilt of shame, which we see around us that, hey, people are not ready to talk about their failure stories. Success is celebrated everywhere, right? In every podcast, we see that people talking about success and people talking about how they achieved something. So, what I believe is that the stories which do not come out in open, that should come out, those should come out. And on that line of thought, if you can share one or some of your failure stories from which we can learn something, and you also feel that they taught you a lot, what would those stories be?
So one that comes to my mind is I don't know it is finished or not, um, because I'm still a story in progress. Everyone is till the time we die. Um, but yeah, one bit is when I tried for UPSC, and the failure bit was not me not clearing it honestly, because I just gave one attempt, and that too in like middle of the preparation. I was not even fully prepared and everything. So that bit when I had to come back, I think that was like a drastic change. And I could see it in my person as well. Um, that my thought processes had changed. My not like preparing it definitely is a roller coaster ride when you're into, and plus I love, oh my god, Partho, I love the subjects that I was reading, and I honestly love learning new things and a lot of things. So I'm a very inquisitive person, and I inquire, especially if it comes to a point that I can inquire about a person. I become very like smothering kind of a person. There, right on your head. I want you. But yeah, the kind of things that I could see unfold, and just the magic of um, the intricacies of different systems, whether sociological, political, or you know, logical thinking, or whatever it is, society in general, it was beautiful. And to come back from that to a smaller pond where I have to again take care of, my mom, my brother, so Pitaji, and like everything. It just became like, it's sort of like, I, from just exploding out, I exploded in. And that became very traumatic for me. And I didn't even realize it back then. And that's where I think the kind of problems that I had, bottled up and, just piled up, they started at that point, started to overflow a little. And then after that, when I actually went to therapy, and because I had to leave everything in just one call and I came back, right? It was like so much of change and transition involved. And then after that, when I came back from Delhi to Meerut, I, now that I'm thinking about it, in the call itself, I'm realizing it's like in 5 to 6 months, I got hospitalized once. Then in 6 months again, I got hospitalized again. And then again, like I understood that I need to go to therapy. So therapy started. So I never, got my break, sort of, sort to say, right? So after that, it became like, and then I realized that it's just, I need to first calm myself down and understand again, because I was becoming a burden for everyone, right? My father, Dr. Saab, was so traumatized and so scared, and I could see that in her eyes. The second time I got hospitalized, she was not, I think she also was not able to register कि इतनी जल्दी कैसे हो गया, नहीं कोई बात नहीं, ये हो जाएगा, थोड़ा शांत हो जाएगा ठीक. But then when I told her that I am not okay, I need to get hospitalized, and every time, this is, I think, I don't know how it happened, but every time I got hospitalized, the first time I did not, but because the first time I actually thought that I would come back to home and start work again. So I didn't even take full day off. I was like, I'm going to the doctors and I'll come back. Um, but then at the doctor's, he said, you are not going home. If you can take care of yourself, okay, fine. I said, I can take care of myself. It's okay, I'll go home. Then during the blood sampling that they took, I fainted. And my friend is like picking me up in his body and placing me on the stretcher. And the doctor said, no, nothing doing. You are going to the hospital. See, that's the first hospitalization where I did not realize. After that, I think my brain or my body learned. And in the second hospitalization, I told my family, my folks, that I need it. It might seem like I'm making a big fuss, but I know that I need hospitalization right now. That happened. And the doctors actually, like, to a point, got, I think I got superimposed infection where malaria and, no, there was dengue and something else as well, was there. So it was near, like, it was a traumatic experience. Then after that, I came to, like, when I was in therapy and I realized that, okay, I need to let go of the baggage and start afresh. That's where, so took a lot of like series of failures to let me know, that, okay, Galyani, wake up call. So it's like, you put, when you have to wake up early, you put multiple alarms, one at 6, one at
Yeah, yeah,
6:30, one at
yeah.
7.
I do it daily, but I fail to wake up. Yes.
Exactly. And that's what happened to me mentally. Like, finally, I got the wake up call at third thing. And I was like, okay, let's take care of myself and then think about it.
That's so inspiring, Kalyani. I mean, that's so inspiring as well as motivating. And we all can see, right, that even if you fail in life, it is temporary unless you accept it as a permanent failure, right? And every time you can come back from that situation, which at that time you might feel as a trapped situation. But again, we have a live example, and in all the episodes which we have done so far at Choco Chips Radio, we have seen that people coming here and talking about failures, and they are doing extremely well in their life. So never feel that one failure or even a series of failure is an end to anything. Thanks a lot, Kalyani, for sharing something which is so sensitive and so close to you. All right, Kalyani, so far we discussed about a lot of different things, and thanks a lot for being so honest. On camera, I have seen people taking a different shade and taking a different form altogether, but you're so honest with your views and thoughts, and you don't hesitate to go against the wind, to sail against the wind. That's the best thing. Also, you are quite thoughtful about different things going on. You love to analyze and find different sweet, positive angles. That too in your own unique ways, which is really good. A lot to learn, right? Yeah. So, great. Now, before we move on to the last question, I have one question before that to ask you. I would like to have your opinion. Let's say somebody who is younger as well as somebody who is older. If you have to give one message to both the categories of people, what would that one message be from your level of intellect? Yeah.
Oh my God, my level as low as it is, I can just say, I think I can say just one thing from experience, and that would solve a lot of things. I guess, I hope, is neither of us, whether we are young or whether we are at, an older age, none of us have figured it out, and it's okay. One of the things is we need to understand it's okay to be wrong, and also the most important thing is like have some leg room of conversations and have some like be open to change or be open to like empathize, try to put yourself in someone else's shoes completely, not just कि हमारे जमाने में या फिर आपने बहुत बोल लिया है अब वो हो चुका है. That is not the way you can go with it, but understand where the other person is coming from. That becomes like utterly necessary. I cannot emphasize enough on this. I have seen it happening when for example, it changes a lot, right? When you talk to your parent as a person who's like a has been, right? That pain you can see in their eyes, you can see in their voice, right? And if they would talk to you as like some wannabe, you'd be like, what are you saying? I am my own person, right? That insult you will feel to your own being. I think if we understand each other and if we understand where the other person, the counterpart is coming from, I think a lot of things would be solved. And not just like older and younger people, also in any situation. Just try to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Try to understand where they're coming from, where the origins are. That would like make it so much better.
दैट्स वंडरफुल अगेन, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. अगर हमें ये पता हो कि सामने वाला इंसान किन परिस्थितियों में रहा है, व्हाट वर हिज और हर कंडीशंस, दैट सॉल्व्स मोस्ट ऑफ इट, राइट? एंड देयर कम्स द रोल ऑफ एम्पैथी टुवर्ड्स अदर्स, which is a great trait. And I'm so happy that our audience is getting so much from this conversation. I mean, I cannot speak or express the importance of this conversation in words. This is not some exaggerating thing. I really feel it because these are some in-depth insights which you are sharing, and it is also coming from your experience, your overthinking process, as you said, right? So
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So it holds a lot of value, and we 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 can use our internet bills to watch these kind of things, right? That would be a good utilization. On the final note, Kalyani, I would like to ask you this question. I'm very excited about. What would be your thoughts and opinion, right? So, see, what do you feel about the products on Choco Chips as a channel? How do you see this effort? Uh, what do you feel basically about my baby Choco Chips and the kind of stuff which you see? Or at the very first instance, have you ever got some time to go through it and go through the videos? Yeah.
So I've gone through some bits. I'll be very honest. I did not get a chance to see all of it, but yeah, one you talk about so much about like how I can see the positive, but the way you have handled the Ambani bit, I saw your video where you like pre-wedding bash
Yes,
page
yes.
or you made that content, right? It was so well thought. And why is it's very easy to make fun of, you know, angur khatte hain, basically, right? It's very easy to do that.
Yeah.
But to understand the kind of logistics and the kind of things that the other person would have struggled and that empathy and, everything where the other person is coming from, all this comes into picture in that video. And I felt so good watching it that it's such a refreshing take on that whole event that unfollowed that unfolded anyway. Uh but yeah, it was really nice. It was refreshing, and it was good that you could see the positives out. You can extract information from that event, not just like हमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है कि वहां पे क्या हो रहा है या नहीं, या फिर ऑन दी अदर एंड क्या हा अरे वाह, बहुत पैसे आ रहे हैं because they have struggled, because they have done
Yes.
so much,
Yeah.
right? And to gather how we can tweak our lives or we can improve our lives from their experiences. I think that is great. Then one bit you have done
Thanks a
in
lot. Yeah.
yeah, it's totally kudos to you. Like the thought process that you have, amazing. That's really nice.
Thanks a lot, Kalyani.
Uh
Yeah.
yeah, and then one bit that you had was um about loneliness, where you talk about solitude and loneliness is
Yeah.
different,
Oh, you watched
right?
that? Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I did. And again, these are things that they're very close to my heart as well because I have been told, imagine me, I have been told that I isolate myself and I don't go out that much. I don't talk to or interact with people that much. And I do. I know that I am. I'm very like I'm a loyalist kind of person. So I have like selective people who know everything about me. And whenever you approach me, I am an open book. If you want to talk, you can have a conversation with me. Not a worry. But I'm a specific kind of person. And as you might have seen, I'm maybe a bit of an eccentric. So it becomes very difficult for the other person to understand and me for making that person understand what I am and how I am and everything. So and I love my own space. I love that place where I can, do my own thing, maybe dance around or just read a book or write or do cook. I love cooking. I love food, right? This is my space. I don't want any XYZ to interrupt or interfere in that. And that's what you define, right? It is solitude, not loneliness. I am not sad
Absolutely.
about it,
Yes. Yes.
right? And people miss out on that definition, Raj. And it's so great that you're actually speaking about it. And, like these are two different things, guys. So please be aware of that. Like you
Yeah.
don't misspell certain spellings.
One is a
Okay.
definite choice, right? And the other is
Yeah.
which happens to you accidentally.
Yeah.
So people do not
Yeah.
understand it, right? Yeah.
Exactly. One is a source of sorrow and one is clearly a source of happiness.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. These are like bits and pieces that I've watched and I love uh, thoroughly. And I love the fact that you're talking about it. So yeah,
That's great, Kalyani. Thanks a lot, and it is so good to hear such kind words and such praises from you, because I know for a fact that unless you are convinced, you do not praise just to sugarcoat, right? So that's really good, and that's quite motivating for me to continue doing such work. And of course, for those viewers who have not watched these videos, go and watch them, because these are they actually take some effort at the mental level to bring it to the table, and also they will benefit you a lot, right? So yeah, on that note, Kalyani, it was really refreshing and wonderful to have a conversation with you. I hope you enjoyed this long drawn conversation.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Complete.
if anything I asked you or I said which inadvertently affected you, I really beg apologies for that. Right.
No, no, no.
So that was absolutely unintentional. If that kind of thing has happened. On
Mm.
that note, any final thoughts from your side?
No, no. I just, I think the one thing that if anyone takes away from this conversation, I would, if I need to summarize or if I would were to summarize, is basically empathize a little more because there's a lot of hate out. So we are the only ones creating it. We are the only ones who have to, be firefighters and, just close it up. Also, like failing is a part of your life. It is day to day. Like smallest failures of यार दूध निकल गया गैस पे रखा हुआ. That's also fine. Consider that also a learning, right? You have to. And from the biggest parts, oh my God, like the kind of failures that I have seen in my life, it's fine. And I'm not saying that they're so big that no one else can compare to it. Of course not. There are so many other people, but try to understand, learn from it. And one thing that my dear friend Nehul always has said throughout, and I think I resonate to it as well. Um, don't change anything in your life, whether good or bad. The good was good, but the bad is what made you into the person. The bad is what taught you. The bad is what got you to a place where you can find the good, right? You can get the good parts. So don't try to rewrite anything. Don't feel embarrassed of any failures. As Choco Chips also, conveys it, just wear it as a badge of honor. Just learn from it and move ahead. Make more mistakes. Repeat, that's it.
Very well summarized, Kalyani. So I don't have anything to add to it. Absolutely, she's correct, right? So that's the summary of the whole thing. And yeah, once again, thanks a lot for joining in. And we really appreciate and we really honor your time. And thanks a lot for agreeing to do this, and that too
Thank
at
you.
a long stretch. So yeah, hoping to see
Mhm.
you again, hoping to have you again on
Yes.
the Choco Chips
And
Radio
thank you
podcast.
so much for having me. I don't know what good it
It
would
was an
be, but
honor.
yeah, thank you.
It was an honor. It was an honor. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you
cool.
so much.
Thank you.